First of all, welcome to day 3. You're very patient. Yes, thank you very much. You're very patient. I love you all. Welcome to day 3. And let me start by saying it's great to have you here. Welcome a bunch of the people too from Australia who've joined us. It's early in the morning there, but thanks for coming. I have a couple of questions overnight, so let me get straight in and answer those. The first was from Debbie at Bucklands Beach Intermediate in Auckland. Debbie, thanks for writing in. It's great. You ask, will the webinars be the same each day? Good news, they won't. Every day, I'm going to tackle a different aspect of writing in the classroom and how to effectively solve that using Writer's Toolbox. So unique every day. And as we've started to do too, we're uploading the webinars onto our YouTube channel. So if you miss out today or your friends miss out, within 24 hours, they can watch it again on our YouTube channel. The second question from Marie in Wellington, who asks, will you change your shirt? No, I'm sorry, Marie, we're in lockdown. Shirt changes will be rather sporadic at this stage. Running out of wardrobe options at this point, but never mind. So today I want to do a couple of things with you. I really want to tackle this notion of paragraphing. It's so important, and start by giving you some thoughts around teaching paragraphing in your classroom, and then let's move that into how you teach paragraphing using Writer's Toolbox. But first, the daily challenge. Many of you have started to log in, which is great, and encourage your students every day. You will have noticed that here is Weird Wednesday's daily challenge. All your students who use Writer's Toolbox have got access to this. Today's is Broccolicious, which incidentally, I did struggle to spell, but it's one of those words I think you can make up your spelling. Your challenge here, as you can see, is to describe the best broccoli dish I would never want to eat. Broccoli and banana pie, I say, is probably mouth-watering. What can you come up with? And send it in. The email address to send it to, competitions@writethatessay.org, and every week we'll publish some of the best we get. I even know, here's a fun thing, I even know some families out there whose kids have got access to Writer's Toolbox have started to use these as a family challenge. Mum, Dad, cousin George sitting around the table are all having a crack at the daily challenge and see who can do the best. So why not? They're there every single day for you and your students. So the paragraph. And I'm really pleased to be talking to you about this today because it's an important thing. It's a vital stage in the life of training the child to be a good writer. Paragraphing, or the lack of it, affects your students at every stage of their school and career. Early on, when they're in primary, you can see it. The child will begin to feel their way through the thoughts, and often you get this too many ideas thumped together in the same paragraph. As they get older, if they don't have the paragraphing skills necessary at high school, the ideas are there, but they're just not delivered with a gravity or a force that accurately mirrors the student's ability. And the glaring hole is often around the paragraph. So let me just give you some thoughts. And I thought today, after putting out the challenge to you as well, about modelling in front of your students, I thought Hunter better live up to his own dictum, and I thought I'd write you one. So let's write a paragraph, shall we? Maybe something like this. Okay. You can see here, I've just brought you up in my iPad. As I said, I'm going to make this up on the spot, but we'll just see where we get to. Here's Hunter's paragraph. And the words come. The verbs, the nouns, the adjectives. A little metaphor thrown in, cast in for good measure. But as you get deeper, as this thing called the sentence materializes. Well, I probably will struggle to spell, but there we go. Something happens. The gravity of what is really occurring. One of those tricky words that I always forget. Does it have 2 C's or 2 R's? Really occurring on a page. Emerges. And like a man stepping out of the mist on a winter's. I always forget that too. You can probably send me in some comments and help me out. Do you capitalize seasons or not? I always forget that. On a winter's morning, you realize it was a paragraph that really mattered. So there's mine. It's a paragraph. But I want to talk to you about that paragraph because it's important. And it's one of the reasons why it's important is also the reason we're struggling in some schools today with our children in paragraph writing. Because look at that paragraph. Where's the topic sentence? Or where's the point? It's not there. You have no idea. It's not there. It's still uncertain. It's there. It's at the end. And what I've just shown you there, as best I could, just making up as I went along, is how they used to teach children in the 19th century to write paragraphs. We didn't used to teach paragraph writing like we teach paragraph writing today. We used to teach children how to write a paragraph. They didn't use the word point. They used to use the word emphasis. And used to teach children how to write a paragraph, and the emphasis was at the start, and we often do that in the classrooms today, traditionally. Used to teach them how to write a paragraph, and the emphasis was in the middle. Or, as I've done with you today, the emphasis was at the very end. And we teach Peel or its cousins, and we wonder why we have a problem. And the problem exists because the child can't do what I just showed you. Many of us would struggle. We haven't been taught the skills. And just like a painter going to paint a canvas with some brushes, you don't give that painter to paint that beautiful canvas a 4-inch brush. That's a disaster. You know, you give them a fine brush and brushes of different sizes, and probably even a stipple brush as well, depending on your skill level. And when it comes to craft the scene before you, you have a range of tools to apply to the task. Our children deserve this in the paragraph as well. In fact, I want to put you a challenge. Some of you probably heard me say this in workshops and seminars before, but by the time a child leaves primary school in New Zealand or in Australia, you should have, that child should be able to write a paragraph 3 different ways. And primarily our children today can do it once. And I don't know what moron came up with that, but it's crippling the capacity of our children to write deeply and meaningfully. I want you to think about it like this, because we don't teach one at Write That Essay and through Writer's Toolbox. Over the journey of their writing career, by the time they move through primary to high school, a child using these tools that I'm going to show you the next 4 weeks, you will have learnt 8 different types of paragraphs. And so when it comes to write your canvas, how you want to make your thoughts shine, you've got the tools to do the job. I want you to think about it like this. Think of the sentence. The function of the sentence is to surface the thought. The function of the paragraph is to have that thought fully rendered. That's what it does. And that's why the child needs multiple paragraph types to do the things that they're trying to do. I'll show you one more slide and then we'll go straight into Writer's Toolbox, and I'll show you what I mean and how they can teach it. But one more thought, watch this. I'll just jump back on my iPad for a second. And you can see it. Think about it like this. You see, the child casts a paragraph, and we're fine with that in school. Here comes the paragraph. Hunt to start again and get it right. This is a great tool. You should buy one of these things. Essential equipment right now. They cast the paragraph. But think about that for a second, because I just said the paragraph is the thought fully rendered. And what are they trying to show you in that thought? Are they just trying to describe something? Possibly. But that form, if you taught this or any of its antecedents, how are you going to do these sorts of things in thinking with the child? How are you going to show them how to do this? And Bloom said in 1953, a child needs to be taught how to do that, to make a derivation from abstract thoughts. How are you going to teach a child to do this? Or this? Or this? Or this? To make an inference, a hypothesis, and explore it. To reflect. The child needs a range of forms, and that's where I'm going with this. And today I just want to take one of these higher order thinking skills, and let's just look in the simple form, because it applies to all of us, whether primary school teachers or middle school teachers or high school teachers. Let's just take one of them and look at this. How do you teach a child to do that with the paragraph? So, without further ado, let's jump in to Writer's Toolbox and see how we do this. I'm going to do it like this portion of the screen. Here we go. So I've logged in again, like yesterday, as Boris, my new student in Writer's Toolbox. And we'll see how Boris can get on managing the paragraph. Boris is logged in. He's here on his main dashboard, and he's going to do some writing. So I'll click Write. Those of you who've got Writer's Toolbox open, you can write along with me if you like. But I'm going to, today, we looked at the sentence builder earlier in the week. I'm going to look at the paragraph creator. That's the focus of where I want to spend the next couple of days as we get really good at how to use this in the classroom and how to give our students a greater range of tools. So I'm going to click on paragraph creator. Straight away, I can see that I can create a number of forms of the paragraph. Here are the different ones we teach. Today, I want to look at this idea of comparison and improving Boris's skills to write comparatively, or if I think about that in terms of higher order thinking, it's actually that's the lowest level of teaching the child how to apply synthesis, to reorder parts that they've been given in a way to reveal some new pattern or thing of significance. So click on compare contrast. And I move over and I select draft. The lovely thing about the paragraph tool is it takes the student through a three-step process. They first can scaffold with lots of helps around the side. And then once they're there, they can publish the piece. So we'll do that. And first of all, it says, give us an easy introduction to the paragraph. Just say something like, cats and dogs are not the same. Well, actually, let's use this. Let's just do the simple response to the comparison idea, the theme. Are cats and dogs the same? And here we go. So I'm going to write something, cats and dogs are not the same. The lovely thing about the comparison form of the paragraph is that you do not need to assert a position at the outset. You just need to open. It's very helpful if you teach your children this, because somebody will be stumbling and they won't be quite sure where they might come to by the end of the paragraph, how it might resolve. You do not need that. It's unlike the deductive forms of the paragraph, such as, I mentioned Peel earlier, my arch enemy. You don't need to provide the assertion at the outset. You just make a statement about the idea in general. So cats and dogs are not the same. Because it's synthetic, this paragraph form. The deduction will emerge by the end. Or the induction, I should say. First example, here we go. So I click in here. For example, cats are wonderful, fluffy creatures. I can already see the half the population of Wellington is oohing and ahhing, they agree, that come in all sorts of colours. Wants two sentences, so I'll offer another one up. Here we go. Cats, keeping on with my cats example, cats are great to pat. Another use for cats, I'm struggling now. And they love lying in the sun. Oh yes, there's some comments coming in, people offering help with the cats. Yes, thank you for that, keep them coming. Example 2, here we go. In contrast.
Dogs are great at rough and tumble. Next sentence. Dogs run around and bark and scamper and love to play with their masters.
The beautiful bit about the compare contrast paragraph is that it runs through very economically two distinctly different ideas. This is its beauty, is that you can either take two concepts that are distinct and you want to offer up the difference between them, or, which is the contrast, or I can offer up two concepts that are highly similar as well, and then distill why that similarity matters. This form of the paragraph, in its structure, allows the writer to get through the two elements they're trying to synthesize and then come to the distillation at the end, which is the analytical, insightful portion where they extract the value. And this is where I've landed right now. Why the difference matters between the two concepts I have previously offered. And of course, the subject is dogs and cats. For many of you, you probably already switched off and thinking, well, Ian, it's obvious. We can see that straight away. So I will just write what I know many of you are thinking. Here we go. While cats have some use, comma, dogs are clearly the best pet. I can hear the cheers from now. I think somebody down the street must be watching. Here we go. You try playing catch with a cat at the beach. Colon. What a waste of time. So there you have it. The compare contrast paragraph. The student has done this. And they've done it now in scaffolding form. Let's remove the scaffolds. And Writer's Toolbox allows you to do just that. I'm going to go up here and click Preview. The scaffolds vanish, and the paragraph in its totality now appears. Cats and dogs are not the same. For example, cats are wonderful fluffy creatures that come in all sorts of colours. Cats are great to pet, and they love lying in the sun. In contrast, dogs are great at rough and tumble. Dogs run around and bark and scamper and love to play with their masters. While cats have some use, dogs are clearly the best pet. Probably should be better, shouldn't it? Bad Ian. You try playing catch with a cat at the beach. What a waste of time. Actually, I can see immediately. So let's just go back to the drafting stage, because I would like to fix that. I can see that somebody's going to probably write it overnight, and I'm probably going to fluff it, but here we go. Clearly the better pet. I'll try that. And I think probably there's a word missing down here, a total waste of time. Then the kid goes, well, is it any good, miss or sir? And they don't need to have you present. I'm going to do this. Up here, I click feedback, and immediately the algorithms in Writer's Toolbox have analysed that paragraph and say, those are things I can do to improve this further. My fluency is great. My words per paragraph, I'm bang on for my age and stage, and I'm registered here as a Year 7 boy. Average sentence length, oh, I'm a bit borderline. You can see that there. I need to be a little bit longer. That's not a deal breaker, but precision is far too low. I need to work on my precision and get that up. If I'm going to advance the sentence even further and get any chance of getting 100%, I need to fix my precision. So let's just say I now want to do something with that paragraph. I quite like it. I previewed it. I love it. But now I want to publish it. And I click Publish. And there I can send that piece to any other piece of writing I have on the entire website. And I'm going to click here, this piece here called Animals.
and send that to that piece there.
The clever thing about this, the paragraph architecture, is it allows you to append, to attach something that you've written in a single form to another piece and build a longer piece of work one after the other. So I just go to that file, it's one I'd started previously. You can see there's my paragraph already now attached to the introduction I had previously written. And I think this is one of the powerful, exciting things I'm personally excited about Paragraph Writer, is that the student, paragraph by paragraph, can just focus their attention on that singular piece of crafting as a writer, and then attach it to a piece that they build step by step as a longer piece of work. And you can see here too, we've got loads of tools, and over the next couple of days, I'll show you some of the other aspects of Paragraph Writer and how it works, and it helps it a bit for students. But particularly quite good, of course, is you can attach images. And here is, of course, why the dog was so intelligent. And here, of course, is the challenging cat. So, that's our paragraph section. Can you please, I hope that's been helpful today, please, just a reminder, if you want to submit examples of writing work in for our weekly competition, competitions@writethatessay.org. And if you have any questions that you want to send in, I'm going to spend some time every morning and tackle those questions for you and respond to them. You can send them in also, and the email address for that is on our website. It's webinar.feedback@writethatessay.org. See you next time.